Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Connor Docherty works for Bell for Business, a company that offers outsourced office support, including bookkeeping, social media management, marketing, and other services. In 2020, Bell for Business started an online network, and Connor is the host of the monthly meetings. Thank you very much for joining me on the podcast, Connor.
Thank you, Liz. It's good to be here.
Now, before we get starting talking about the networking that you're involved with, I'd like to know a bit about you first. What's your background, Connor?
Yeah, sir. I work for the business Bell for Business, and we're based in Hull. I joined the business about 3 years ago now, just coming up to 3 years. Although the business has been operated by Director Louise for just over 5 years. We specialise in outsourced office support, so it is working with small to medium-sized businesses, helping them with the marketing, the bookkeeping, the general admin, pretty much anything office-based they can outsource to us. So for that reason, we've always worked with business owners, small businesses, and we've always tried to help them, of course, get new customers and new leads. For me, the route I did joining the business, I actually started as an apprentice.
Right.
And it was just the summer I left school. Like a lot of people, I left school not knowing really what I wanted to do. I couldn't have said, yes, I want to go to college, then down the university route. I couldn't have said, yes, I want to get myself straight into a job. I wasn't too sure. And it was pretty much, and I think this is for in every single business and every single opportunity, you kind of need to know somebody to get yourself introduced to, whether that's through networking or through something else. To get opportunities, it definitely helps if you know somebody. So I knew a lady who was the manager of an apprenticeship company, and I was talking to her, and it was pretty much just one of them things where she already knew me previously, and she said, we've got this opportunity at Bell for Business. It's a really great business. It's a really good opportunity. You're going to be working with some great businesses. Do you want to have an interview, get a feel for the business and see how it goes? And obviously I was happy to do so. It was pretty much meant to be just a month of getting experience, because before then I've not really had a role. It was meant to be a month getting a bit of experience, working with businesses and kind of working out how that would be for me, and if I was interested in going down a career one with like the marketing and working with businesses. And yeah, straight away I really enjoyed it. And I was offered to kind of stay longer working at Bell for Business, which obviously I accepted, and I'm still here today, kind of nearly 3 years later.
That's brilliant. So you very much fell on your feet then.
Pretty much. I got quite lucky. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me about your networking experience then prior to the pandemic. I've met Louise Bell at networking events and expos and so on, so I know it's something that she was keen on. Was it something that you got involved with too?
Definitely, right from the start. I think it was pretty much within the first month. I was there at your local Chamber of Commerce and other business networking groups from the start, pretty much in at the deep end. But I think that's the best way to experience it and get to know people. And it was one of them, speed networking and everything like that. But I really enjoy it because it's different to your day-to-day role being in the office and working with customers. But you get to meet new people, you get to really kind of develop communication skills and everything like that. And I know, like you say, pretty much like yourself, Louise is used to be very active on her face-to-face networking and meeting people. And that's how, she managed to build a customer base. So, yeah, the business has always been very active networking. And because of that, we managed to kind of build an audience and kind of get to know people who are kind of like ourselves interested in networking. So that really did help us start off our own group, really.
Now, you said that you were sort of thrown in at the deep end when you first started and sent out to networking meetings. Now, you're still very young, Connor. So, 3 years ago, you were even younger. How did that feel? Was that really daunting, walking into a room full of business people?
um, Slightly, but I think once you get to know everybody, once you've done that first meeting, and I think at now networking, everyone's always nice to everybody. Everyone, for me, everyone's got a different definition of networking, but
Mm,
mine would be you're there to have that, you're there to build a relationship and you're there to help people. And I think that for me, that's what networking's about. And I've never really had a bad networking experience where, something's gone wrong or someone's, not being particularly nice. Everyone I've met networking has been really nice. And I think once you understand that and once you've done that first meeting, you just want to go on, do the next meeting and do the
mm.
next meeting and carry on doing them, really.
I think you're spot on. It is about building relationships and trying to help people. And I think that there's some people that don't get that about networking and will go in there with trying to sell, but that's really not the way to do it, is it?
Definitely not, no. I mean, we've got people who we've met at networking events 2 or 3 years ago, and we see them, we say hello, we talk for 5 or 10 minutes. Not always about business. It
Mm.
could be about anything, but once they kind of get to know you and you are developing that relationship, as soon as they kind of have a problem or an issue or they want support with something, you'll be the first person on their mind because
Yeah.
they've met you so many times at these networking meetings and you've developed that relationship. Because networking, it's not one of them. Fair enough, sometimes you do go to a networking meeting, and for yourself, there may be someone who requires a voiceover speaker,
Hmm.
and fair enough, you could get that there and then. But it is pretty much, it's about developing the relationship,
Yeah.
and when they need that support or that service, they can come to you. And it's the same,
Yeah.
with us, people coming to us, we know them, and when we do need that service, we'll come to whoever who is in that industry,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. It's pretty rare that somebody needs your services right there and then the first time you meet them.
Mm. Yeah, especially when it is, something kind of a bit more bespoke, like voiceovers, like you do
Hmm.
yourself, or we do marketing and like the bookkeeping side. Um, People, it's one of them. You don't think about needing it till you actually do need
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
then you know them connections already, so you can
Yes.
just come to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what was it that made Bell for Business decide to start their own network?
Yeah, well, we set up our network just after obviously the lockdowns and everything, and we kind of saw a bit of a gap in the market. The reason why we didn't go for a networking group face to face, it was something we discussed before setting up one of these groups face to face, but it's one of them. You've got to pay for the overheads
Hmm.
and everything like that, the catering and stuff like that. And that would obviously mean that would impact the membership
Yeah.
costs. So we thought we could do this as cost effectively as possible um, over kind of doing it online over Microsoft Teams or Google Meets, which we've moved to. So yeah, pretty much because of the COVID pandemic, that we saw that as an opportunity and a way to kind of diversify our business and to kind of get more connections for ourselves and
Mm.
benefit other businesses as well. And so we started. The idea kind of came about in July, but we didn't have our first meeting till about September,
Hmm.
and that was when it really kicked off, really, and we started getting members in.
And how did you go about getting members to get started?
Yeah, well, we've always kind of had a lot of connections with networking just throughout the years, from obviously Louise and myself doing the networking. So we've always knew a lot of people who have enjoyed networking, which was really good, obviously, to get started with. Um, and then we are very active on social media. Obviously, we provide that as a service
Hmm.
to other customers. So we're always very active on social media. So we connected with quite a lot of people on LinkedIn, just letting them know, just a friendly message. Hi, I know you're interested in networking. We've got this new group set up. We're just wondering if you're interested in joining, really. And it kicked off from there. I know you was actually at one of our very early meetings where the attendance was much smaller than what it is now. And it has just been able to grow month on month, really.
Yeah.
We're taking on new members each month. And I think once we initially started, once we got the first few members in, it was always going to be easier, because it is difficult to sell a group where you've only got a couple of members. But once you're getting more and more people in, and they're seeing how many people are attending each month, and I can say we get, I don't know, roughly 20 members to each meeting. And you'll also have people referring new members to the group, which is really good. So it's easier month on month, I think, to get new members in, just because, we're more established now than we was in September last year. And more people are aware of what we do now.
Yeah. So what kinds of businesses do you find are coming along?
We do have a whole range of businesses, really, from kind of your website designers, your accountants. We've got a whole range, really. We've got apprenticeship providers. It is a whole range of businesses, and it is right throughout the UK as well. We've got businesses based in Leicester, Leeds, obviously, East Yorkshire, where I'm based. And it is pretty much all around the country. We've just got new members from Newcastle as well, and we've got members in London. It's all around the country, really.
That's brilliant. And that's something that obviously wouldn't have happened before the pandemic.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that is one of the things I like about online networking, because a lot of businesses, I know both of the businesses that we're in, we can operate with customers, one, all around the country and all around the world, really.
Yeah.
So when you was going to them face-to-face networking groups, of course, they're brilliant for kind of developing them relationships, but you have to tighten your net in terms of the businesses that you can connect with. Whereas online networking, you don't have to travel anywhere. You can literally just sit down from your own office or your own home, and you can connect with people from all over the country, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about the format of the meeting.
Yeah, so the format that we've had is we do a pretty much 45 seconds to 1 minute business introduction, just to let all of our members and the new members know what each member does, which is kind of a good refresher, even for people like yourself who have been attending for coming up to a year. It's kind of good to just get a refresher on what everybody does, because we meet once a month, so it may be difficult to remember what every single member does. So yeah, we do a business introduction. After that, we do a discussion topic where it could be maybe a tip that you've got for everybody just starting out, or it could be a problem that you faced in business over the last 12 months, just to get people talking. And that really opens a discussion where we've had members say, look, I'm struggling at marketing my business online, and the website creators in our group and me doing marketing, our eyes light up. We think there's a discussion to be had there where we can benefit people. So that the discussion slot is, you can kind of share any tips that you've got, any advice, any issues that you face. And it's just there to, one, help people, and then two, to really start that conversation where, it starts that conversation where if you identify a problem, there's usually someone in the group that can help you with the issue that you have.
Yeah.
And then after the discussion slot, we occasionally have guest speakers where someone comes on, and instead of a guest speaker coming on and selling their business for 10, 15 minutes, we look at something where we can give advice. I know you did one where it was the benefits of networking and how to network more effectively. We've had salespeople coming in, giving advice on how to sell better and how to market your product better. We've had people coming in telling businesses how they can get grants and how they can stand out more for the funding. It's instead of just selling your business for 15, 20 minutes where people can switch off, because I've seen it in other meetings before where someone's talking, and if they're not interested in that particular sector and it's not going to benefit them, they don't pay 100% attention. Whereas if it is a slot where there's a speaker coming on and it benefits most, if not all, the businesses in the group, they're more likely to pay attention and actually get something back from that as well. And then after that, we've recently introduced a LinkedIn Power Post section. And the reason for that is one of the members, because we are always quite keen to get feedback from our members and to evolve our group and change it to make it the best we can for our members. But we got approached by somebody and said, could you try this? I've seen it online, where if you get 15 people to engage with your post, liking and commenting on that post, the LinkedIn algorithm picks it up, and it shows that people are obviously interested in this post. So you're more likely to feature on somebody else's newsfeed. So what we thought is if we took a member each month, just for them to put a post on advertising a new service that they've got, an event that they've got coming up, just anything that really needs promoting, really. We could use that to just have an additional benefit of being in the group, and it makes us slightly more unique as well. And we've seen the numbers coming back from that. The first month that we did it, we had one of our members, they put on a post 2 days before, the exact same post. It got 100 views. And then we did 2 days later, we did the power post where all of our members engaged with that post. And it was about 2,000 views of that post within the first 2 days. So it really does, it does benefit people. And, if it reaches out to more people, you're more likely to get a customer or a potential lead out of it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So that's a new feature that we've added to the group.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned this earlier on, but you've changed the platform that you use recently. So we started on Teams, didn't we?
Yeah.
What was it that made you change to another platform?
Well, it was just one of them again. Feedback from our members. We started on Teams rather than Zoom, just because Zoom, obviously you've got to have you've got to have a membership for Zoom, where it's only £15 a month. But if we can keep the overheads for the networking as low as possible, we can kind of return that to the members in putting our prices as low as possible for all of them. So we started with Teams. And we did that for quite a few months, actually. It must have been 5 or 6 months using Teams. And just the feedback that we got from members is it's not as easy to use. The layout's not as easy to use. And also connection issues as well. I think you've got to have a higher quality internet. And if it is a slightly lower quality internet and the broadband's not as good, you can experience a lot more lagging and glitching, whereas on Google Meets, it's an easy to use format. You can see the chat box straight away. There's kind of additional features that you can use on there, and it's easier to use. The quality seems to be better, and we've just had really good feedback from it, and that's what it's about. The good feedback is kind of what we're doing it for, and any other changes that come along and any other suggestions, we really do welcome, because it does allow us to kind of change the layout and make it as good as possible for everybody.
Yeah. Now, your membership is not just about the networking meeting, is it? You have some other benefits too. Do you want to talk about that? Yeah,
definitely. We've kind of got 3 tiers of membership. It's good, better, and best. So for the good membership, that is from £10 a month for new members. And on that, you get to join each meeting each month. You get, obviously, all the details of all the members at the meeting. You also can share your business posts into our LinkedIn group and our Facebook group as well. I think combined, they've got about 1,000 people in. And that just opens the gateway to more customers, because obviously you go to that networking meeting, you're connecting with kind of 20 members, and you're going to have great discussions with them. But these additional groups, it just allows you to reach more customers, really. So we've set them up, and then we've got the better membership, which is £15 per month. With that, you get a website advert on our website, so everybody coming through, looking at the networking, can see, information about your business logo, how to get in touch with your business, and then links to your website. You can also share blog posts to our website, which is really good for SEO and everything like that. And it's just another way of getting more people through to your website and knowing about your business. And then the best membership, which is £25 per calendar month, you get all the benefits that you get in the good and better package. But you also can create an email advert that goes out to our mailing list. There's over 2,000 members on that. And you also get a free embroidered business t-shirt as well with your own logo on. So it is just, we're looking for more ways just to get, other than the networking, just to help businesses, whether that is them sharing posts in the Facebook groups, or creating an email advert and sending it out to over 2,000 people. They're all ways, as well as the networking, where people can utilize it to grow their business and get new customers.
Brilliant. So how do you see this carrying on in the future? Do you plan to continue in the online space? Do you have any plans for any face-to-face meetings once we can?
Well, fingers crossed, it's not too long till you can have your standard networking meeting where you can see people, because that's always great to meet new people. But for us, mainly because we found it very easy for our members to access these meetings. And we've got members throughout the UK, so it is going to be difficult to get them down to kind of Hull to do a meeting. So for us, we will be looking at continuing meetings online, because I do think people do really like it.
Yeah.
The fact that they've not got to take too much time out of their day. I remember, back before the pandemic, when you wanted to do a networking meeting, you kind of had to allow yourself an hour to get there, an hour for the actual networking meeting, and then an hour to get back. That's pretty much your full morning done.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you can log on during the day to your Zoom, Google Meets, Teams meeting. You can do the 1 hour meeting, and then you can carry on with your day, and you can carry on working on your business, or you can spend that time following up and arranging even more one-to-one meetings.
Yeah.
We will be looking to continue online over the next few months as we ease out of lockdown, and then after that for the foreseeable future.
Brilliant. Pleased to hear it. So if anyone listening is interested in joining Bell for Business, how can they find you?
Yes, so they can either call us on 01482 842 802, or they could check out our website, which is www.bell4business, it's the number 4.co.uk, and they can find all details on the networking there.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for being my guest this morning, Connor. That's been great to learn more about Bell for Business and the networking. And I expect I'll see you online at the next meeting.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you at the next meeting, Liz. And thank you for inviting me onto the podcast as well.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.